Rafi Devers. What the hell was that? 0 for 16 with 12 strikeouts. A historic pace through 3 games. Literally, the first player in MLB history to have 10 strikeouts in their first 3 games of the season. And it's nothing fancy, man. Elevated fastballs. Not 100 miles an hour, 93, 94, 95, and the man just cannot catch up to it. I mean, it was pitiful. If he was a horse, they would have put him down after this weekend. Like, he just could not keep up. Didn't look like he could be in this league. And by the end of the weekend, it keeps coming back to him. Like, they keep having, runners in scoring position. They keep having these opportunities for Rafi to break out in a big way, and he just continues to fail. He put 2 balls in play yesterday, so at least there's that. But, I mean, he looks like he shouldn't even be in this league. And honestly, I don't know who we have to blame other than Rafi Devers himself. Maybe Alex Cora. But this is a guy who just kept pushing his own spring training back, Rafi Devers. He showed up early, and then they told him they were getting a third baseman, and then he threw a bitch fit and didn't play all spring. He played in, 3 games? What the hell do you expect when you open the Major League season after playing 3 games in spring training? Like, seriously? Of course he doesn't have the bat speed. Of course he looks lost. He didn't have a preseason. And there might even be something more to this. This is coming from the Red Sox network, the network that is owned by the same owners that own the team. Jonathan Papelbon was on the postgame show Sunday on Nesson with his own theory of why Rafi Devers is 0 for 16 with 12 strikeouts.
TC, you mentioned this earlier. I mean, did they come in out of shape? Or,
listen, in the case of Rafael Devers, they talked about it during the broadcast. We talked about it a lot. He didn't start playing until late. It was going to be late, and then he pushed it back 2 more weeks.
Okay, so
he said his shoulder, he hadn't swung it, so
he's out of shape.
Back.
Maybe he's out of shape. I don't know about both of them, but, game shape, playing shape, but... maybe we got to trim a little bit of fat, Jim. You know what happens when you trim fat?
Well, we know they're not hitting shape, right? So they're not hitting. Okay, go ahead. We're talking about trimming fat. What happened?
Pig squeal.
Oh.
Where's this going? No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, you trim fat, pig squeal. I mean, that's what you're looking for your pigs to squeal.
They need some squealing.
Hit home runs.
They need some squealing.
But is it the shoulders? Is it, is he in shape? I mean, we don't know these things. But to me, it looks like the swing is just a little bit behind.
Which is why they're beating.
I've seen this kind of situation. I know Pete's seen this kind of situation too. That was all hands on deck once Papelbon started talking. Like Jim Rice, nervous laugh. Tom Caron trying to reel it back in. There are 5 different people in those earpieces telling him to shut the hell up after he says Rafi Devers is out of shape. And by the way, he's probably right. Pap has runs his mouth and is known to be a bully in the past, but he's probably right here. And baseball, more than any other sport, maybe defensive linemen in football, or offensive linemen, I guess, too, you can't really tell if these guys are in shape or out of shape because Rafi Devers is kind of fat anyway. David Ortiz was the same thing. And, sometimes he's fat and hitting bombs, and sometimes he's fat and he can't catch up to 93 miles an hour. So that's how you're telling if the guy's out of shape. And look, it's not crazy. I mean, the guy didn't play. He pushed himself back when they told him he wasn't going to play third base. He bitched about it. And then he tells the manager, he says, oh, I don't like the way I'm feeling right now. I don't like the way my swing's looking. I'm going to play in the back fields in Fort Myers rather than playing spring training games. And they're killing him for it on the broadcast Sunday. Millar is saying, what the hell is spring training for then? These stats don't count. Play in the games. Figure out your swing against real pitching. And instead, he's just going to wait till the regular season to do that? And I do understand the argument of Alex Cora coming in and saying, no, fuck that. You're playing. It's a spring training game. You are getting paid $33 million a year. You're going to figure it out before we get to the regular season. And he didn't, and here we are. 4 games in, he's 0 for 16 with 12 strikeouts. And I mean, every Red Sox fan is falling all over themselves yesterday in the 9th inning because he drew a walk because he didn't strike out. And we're saying in game 4 of the season, oh, thank God he drew a walk. You're supposed to be saying that for your backup catcher, not for Rafi Devers. They kind of put together a rally. They tried to put together a rally in the 9th inning on Sunday. Duran doubles with 2 outs, and then it's Devers and Bregman who can't get him in, and those are guys who are getting paid a combined $70 million this year. This team is going to lead the league in unproductive outs. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. The total and complete inability to move over a runner. I mean, good Lord. Like, this is supposed to be pro baseball, like professional hitters who can't fucking move a runner, let alone drive them in. I mean, the amount of foul pops, infield fly rules, and goddamn strikeouts they accumulated over this first series is worrying. Now, it's 4 games out of 162, but what the hell, man? Move some fucking runners along. And the fact that your $30 million guy can't do it either is embarrassing. And he does look out of shape. He looks slow. He can't catch up to these pitches. Oh, boy, I'll bet all that work on the backfields really worked for you, Rafi. By the time this video premieres on Monday afternoon, he's going to already hit 2 bombs in Baltimore. And by the way, like, not for nothing, Texas is a good team. You know, they won the World Series 2 years ago. Last year, they had some injuries. It never quite got clicking. But it's a lot of that team from 2 years ago. And if they have the third base thing figured out, they got 2 third basemen injured over the same weekend. Like, that's a team that could well win that division with how vulnerable Houston is. And by the way, you're facing another team right now, the rest of this week, that also could win the division. The Baltimore Orioles could win your division. So they are facing 2 good teams out the chute. But this is little things that we're talking about. Moving runners along with, you know, guys on third with less than 2 outs, and they can't put the fucking ball in play and bring them home. The biggest concern going into this year was your bullpen. No runs allowed in those 4 games from your bullpen. They were excellent. And you allowed, 13 runs for the whole series? And you won 1 game? You led after an inning 1 time in 4 games? And it was the 9th inning in game 1? Like, give me a break, guys. That it's got to be better than that. And Rafi Devers, sure as shit, has to be better than that. I don't do this often, but I listened to EEI this morning just to hear what they had to say about Devers. Like, because I'm thinking, okay, you know, the Red Sox media is starting to get a little back in the game a little bit, right? The Bruins suck. The Patriots are awful. Like, here's the Red Sox chance to really make waves in this city again because they should have a good team. And so I'm like, EEI, baby, flagship station of the Boston Red Sox. This is what they hang their hat on. This should be an absolute treat this morning. Didn't mention word 1 about Jonathan Papelbon saying the best player on the team is out of shape. Not word 1 about the regional sports network accusing the $30 million face of the franchise of being out of shape. Like, this is what we've been talking about for 5 or 6 years. They're absolutely on puppet strings for the Red Sox because broadcasting their games is keeping this network alive. It's bullshit, man. And even worse, I'm hearing the host and the producer argue, and one of them saying, I don't want to argue over this. The fuck you do? It's sports talk radio. I want you to argue over this. I don't care if it's 4 games into the season. I'm not saying they're going to suck, but this is alarming that your star player cannot catch up to an okay fastball in Major League Baseball. An okay fastball. And there was no fooling. They just kept doing it. Elevating fastballs. Try and hit it, pal. You know, if you ask Jacob deGrom or something called Tyler Mahle, starting pitchers for the Texas Rangers, if they think Rafi Devers is out of shape, they'll say, I ain't throwing him this many fastballs when he's in shape. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, he probably is out of shape. And that's an embarrassing look after all the bitching he did in spring training and expected us to put him in third base every day? Put him in the field? Man, are you kidding? Designated hitter might be a bit of a reach at this point. 0 for 16. At this point, he's going for Chris Davis's record here. What was it, 0 for 53? Is that what it was to start the season? Jackson Holliday was a cool 0 for 30 a couple years ago. They're just playing in his home ballpark this week. Just go for it. Go for the entire record here. And it's covering up how shitty of a series that Tristan Casas had and Alex Bregman had as well. It wasn't just Rafi Devers. It was the entire meat of that order. Only Abreu and Christian Campbell showed up. A guy you were dangling in trades this offseason and a guy you weren't sure until the last week of spring training if you were going to call him up. Those are the only guys that performed for you in that lineup this week. And Narvaez, the backup catcher. But already some suspect calls. I don't understand why Connor Wong was pinch hitting in the 8th inning of a 1-run game against a lefty when Rob Refsnyder was on the bench and he wasn't even hitting for the backup catcher. I don't understand that. I think it's probably time for Rafi Devers to have a day off and collect his thoughts because that's been brutal. And it's his own fault, man. He pushed back his own spring training 3 or 4 times. He showed up early and then he left because he couldn't handle the fact that he wasn't playing third base. And so what's the point of showing up early if then you're going to leave for a week and a half? And then we're going to see this to start a season. Oh boy. I'm really hoping the Red Sox aren't 1-6 by the time they head home on Friday for opening day. But Rafi Devers, it starts with him. And Alex Cora deserves some blame for this. He's supposed to be the player's manager. That's why he's been here for so long. Like, have the balls to say, no, screw that, dude. Like, we know you're a great hitter. I don't give a shit if you get embarrassed in spring training. It doesn't count. Nobody cares. You're going to go figure this out on the spring training front fields in the ballparks, not the back fields off a tee. Figure this out before we start playing games in which we owe you $30 million. How about that? So yeah, he probably should have stepped in as well. But these guys can only look in the mirror here. And they've pissed away some games, mainly because their best hitter on the team cannot put the ball in play, let alone get a hit. He can't put the ball in play. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Like 90% of you watching are not subscribed to the channel. Look, we're coming at you with Boston sports stuff every day, every weekday anyway. We're live on YouTube, high noon Eastern time, and then available wherever you get your podcasts. Check out the other videos on the channel. I'm Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air.